Have you ever had that feeling that a guy might like you, but you just can't fully prove it? He doesn't say anything directly. He doesn't make a clear move, but something about the way he acts around you feels different. It leaves you thinking, questioning, and sometimes even overthinking every little detail. The truth is, when a guy likes you but is trying to hide it, he won't stop showing it. He just shows it in subtle ways. Small actions, quiet reactions, and little patterns that are easy to miss if you're not paying attention. And once you understand these signs, everything starts to make more sense. So if you've been wondering whether he secretly likes you, here are 8 clear signs to look out for. Now let's get into it. Sign 1. He watches you when you're not looking. When a guy secretly likes you, he pays attention to you more than he realizes. The difference is, he doesn't want you to notice it. So instead of openly looking at you, he watches from a distance. You might catch him staring for a brief moment, and the second your eyes meet, he quickly looks away or pretends he was focused on something else. This isn't random behavior. It usually means he's drawn to you, curious about you, and naturally wants to observe you. The way you talk, your reactions, your energy, all of it interests him. But because he's trying to hide his feelings, he keeps those moments short and subtle. The more often you catch him doing this, the less likely it is to be a coincidence. Sign 2. His behavior changes around you. One of the most noticeable signs is the shift in how he acts when you're around. With other people, he may seem relaxed and completely himself, but around you, something feels different. He might become slightly nervous, overthink what he says, or even act a bit awkward. Sometimes he talks more than usual, trying to keep the interaction going. Other times he becomes quieter, unsure of how to act. Either way, there's a change. That shift happens because your presence matters to him. He becomes more aware of himself, more careful, and more intentional. When someone affects you emotionally, your behavior naturally adjusts, even if you're trying to stay normal. Sign 3. He remembers small things about you. When a guy secretly likes you, he listens more than you think. Not just to respond, but to remember. You might mention something casually, something you didn't even think was important, and later he brings it up like it mattered. It could be something simple, like your favorite food, a story you shared, or even a small preference. The fact that he remembers shows that he was paying attention in a deeper way. This is one of the strongest signs because people don't remember details unless they care. Even if he doesn't openly express his feelings, the effort he puts into remembering you speaks for him. Sign 4. He finds reasons to be around you. He may not directly say he wants to spend time with you, but somehow he always ends up near you. He creates small, natural reasons to be around you without making it obvious. Maybe he starts conversations that don't really have a strong reason behind them. Maybe he shows up where you are more often than expected. Or maybe he just lingers a little longer when you're nearby. To anyone else, it might look casual. But when you notice the pattern, it becomes clear that it's intentional. People naturally move closer to what they're interested in, even when they're trying to hide it. Sign 5. He gets a little jealous but hides it. Jealousy doesn't always show up in obvious ways, especially when someone is trying to hide their feelings. But it still shows up. When other guys are around you, you might notice a slight change in his mood or behavior. He might become quieter, more distant, or even try to subtly shift the situation without making it obvious. He won't directly express it, because that would reveal too much. But the energy changes. There's a tension that wasn't there before. This reaction usually comes from a place of emotional investment. Even if he hasn't admitted his feelings, a part of him doesn't like the idea of someone else getting your attention. Sign 6. His replies feel careful. When he talks to you, whether in person or over text, there's a certain level of thought behind his words. He doesn't just respond casually, he chooses what he says. You might notice slight pauses before he replies, or messages that feel more considered than spontaneous. It's like he's trying to say the right thing without revealing too much. This happens because he cares about how you see him. He doesn't want to come off too strong, but he also doesn't want to seem uninterested. So he stays in that middle space, careful, controlled, but still engaged. Sign 7. He tries to impress you without making it obvious. When a guy secretly likes you, he wants you to see him in a good light. But instead of being obvious about it, he does it subtly. He might mention things he's achieved, skills he has, or things he's working on. Not in a way that feels like bragging, but just enough for you to notice. He might also put more effort into how he presents himself when you're around. The way he talks, the way he acts, even the way he carries himself can shift slightly. It's his way of standing out without directly saying, "Look at me." Sign 8. You can feel it in the way he treats you. Sometimes the biggest sign isn't just one action, it's the overall feeling. There's something different about the way he treats you compared to others. The attention, the tone, the small efforts, it all adds up to something that feels more personal. Even when he tries to act normal, the consistency in his behavior reveals something deeper. The way he listens, the way he reacts, the way he shows up, it creates a pattern. And that pattern is hard to fake. When someone genuinely likes you, it shows, even when they're trying to hide it. Conclusion. Feelings don't always come out in clear words, especially when someone is trying to hide them. But the truth is, emotions have a way of showing themselves through actions, no matter how subtle they are. When you start noticing these signs consistently, it becomes harder to ignore what's really there. What matters most is not just what he says, but how he shows up around you over time. The patterns, the small efforts, the way his behavior shifts, all of it tells a story. And when those signals keep repeating, it usually means there's something real behind them. So instead of overthinking every moment, start paying attention to the bigger picture. Because sometimes, the answer you're looking for isn't hidden at all. It's just being expressed in a quieter way. If you've seen these signs in someone, trust what you're observing. And if this gave you clarity, let me know in the comments.